Hey YouTube, it is Valerie with Money Mindset Coach, and I just want to, bring you up to date on some medical stuff with me. I have talked about Medicare before, talked about, I think I might have mentioned that I have osteoporosis. My mother had osteoporosis, that kind of thing. So, anyway, last week I had a mammogram and I had a bone density test because I've been on the generic of Fosamax for at least 3 years, if not longer. And they hadn't done a bone density test since I originally got diagnosed with osteoporosis. Good news is I am not, I don't have osteoporosis anymore. I have what they call osteopenia, which is the precursor to osteoporosis. And so it shows that the medication that I've been taking has built some bone. My bones are better. That's a good thing. My sister was actually surprised. She thought, oh, that the medication was just so my bones wouldn't get worse. But this medication does actually help build bone. So that is a very good thing. I was really, I was just thrilled. I was just thrilled. And I'm hoping, maybe when I get my next bone density, maybe I won't even be osteopenia anymore. Maybe I will build even more. I don't know. But anyway, very good news that way. And when you're 66 and you get good news like that, it's a good thing. It's a good thing. And you're knowing you're doing okay. So anyway, that's all for my medical stuff. Good news. But I have gone to Aldi probably a couple times in the last couple weeks. I actually like to go in there once a week. I don't have one here where I live. So this particular one that I went to yesterday, I couldn't believe what I found, but I'll talk about that at the end of the video. I want to save that. But this, okay, you see this? Where it has the marks on there? This fits in here. This one fits in here. They all have the marks on here for the, you know. I love anything that nests together like this. And then here are the 4 lids. Found this a couple weeks ago when I went into Aldi yesterday. Yeah, it was yesterday in St. Louis. They didn't have these anywhere. So I think they might be gone. That's the thing. When you go into Aldi and you go down the aisle of shame and you see something, you've got to grab it. You really do, because if you wait, it might not be there. If you go to another Aldi, they might not have it. You just don't know. But I love the aisle of shame. So anyway, yesterday I go into the one in St. Louis that's close to where my boyfriend lives. And I went in there and there really wasn't all that much in the aisle of shame. It's like, where's all this stuff? I couldn't figure it out. And I really didn't see anything that I needed or I wanted. And so I went to get in line. Well, over close to where the checkout is, there's like this back wall where they put the clearance stuff in this particular Aldi. And I couldn't believe all the stuff that they had taken from the aisle of shame and put in to the real big clearance. And so I found this. Now, this is a set of 4 for $3.99. I couldn't believe that it was October 6th and they already had these in the clearance for $3.99. I think they were regularly $9.99. So basically, I'm paying $1 a plate. And you'll see when I do my home tour, I have this hutch that has like a place for plates in the back, you know, the little grooves so they can be in there and they don't fall. I couldn't believe it. I'm thinking that's going to go great in my hutch. I could not believe it. So anyway, that was pretty much what I was going to talk about tonight. But I don't know. I've just been wondering if I should even say anything about this because I don't want to get into politics here. I really don't. But without naming names other than the two obvious for president, I'm torn. I'm really torn because there's things about both that I both like. And there's things about both that I don't like. And it's just so hard. It is just so hard to try to figure it out and try to say, okay, there's more on this side than there is on this side. I just don't know. I don't know. And I don't know. I mean, maybe there's ones of you that are kind of torn too of who you want to go for. I do believe, though, that who you have at the local level, your mayor, your representatives, all those people really affect more of your real life than who ends up being president. I really don't think that who ends up becoming president really can make that much of a difference in my life. But your state representatives, your state senators, your national senators from your state, they can, they have a lot to do with what happens in your state. I am very much against abortion, but I live in the state of Missouri. And there is basically an abortion ban. Not even in the case of rape, not even in the case of incest. And I kind of have a hard time with that. Because if that happens to a woman, could she have the baby? Could she give it up for adoption? Yes, she could. Is that going to be extremely hard for her to do? Yes. And I don't like the fact that there's a ban. So, am I going to vote in favor of something in certain circumstances that, for the most part, I'm so against? It's really, really hard. I don't think I've ever been I don't think I've ever been so torn. Um, I did see the movie Reagan. Loved Ronald Reagan. Actually saw him in person when he was running for president. That was really cool to be able to see him. I saw Pat Robertson when he was running for president. Not that he got very far, but it was another presidential candidate. I've always been fascinated by politics. My dad would watch the Democrat convention. He'd watch the Republican convention. Back then, you only had 3 channels, and I think it was on every channel, so there really wasn't anything else to watch. So what else are you going to do? But I remember sitting there and watching the debates. I really get into the debates. I positively love them. And the vice presidential debate, I have to say, I wasn't liking Vance a whole lot, but after the debate, I liked him more. I was more favorable towards him. I thought he handled himself very well. I have to tell you, what was nice is that Walz and Vance, shook hands, were nice to each other. Their wives came up on stage afterwards, and everybody was talking. It seemed very cordial, very mature. And I really was impressed with that. I really was impressed with the way that they behaved with each other. Very, very much. I don't know. I am just torn right now. I really am. And time is ticking. I think what I'm tired of is I am tired of politicians, even if in an interview or in a debate, I am so tired of them not really answering the question. Or they don't answer it at all. It's like, just answer the question, And I have to say, none of the debates, there were so many things that weren't gotten to, like student loans. The huge amount of debt that people are in for student loans, and how they can pay and pay and pay and never feel like they're getting anywhere. The government is making a boatload of money off of these student loans. College didn't used to cost as much as it does now. It was not the national debt once you got done. Now, there are some things that you can do. My nephew is a perfect example. He is doing HVAC work, went to school to do that, trade school. He has a skill, he has a profession, and he's making good money doing it. But did he go into a lot of debt to do it? No. I myself was a person who wanted to be a hairdresser, so in my junior and senior year, went through cosmetology. I got out of school, went and took the state board, and I had a profession that I supported myself for 10 years. And with what I made back then in the mid 70s to the mid 80s, because I did it for 10 years, in today's money, it was an equivalent of like what $82,000 would be today. Now, that's nothing to sneeze at. Somebody today would be very happy to be making $82,000. I did that, and I didn't shell out any money at all to learn cosmetology and take state board and get a job. It didn't cost me anything. The other thing you can do is you can go to your teenager, your junior, senior, whatever. They can get college credit while they're in high school. My oldest granddaughter is actually doing that right now. My boyfriend's oldest granddaughter is doing the same thing. They're very close in age. That's another way. If you don't do that and you graduate from high school, you could do the first 2 years of your college education at a community college, basically living at home, commuting to the college. That's the other way you can do it. The other way you can do it is go to a college that's in the state you live in. If you go out of state, you're going to pay more because you don't live in that state. So there's a lot of different ways you can go. You don't have to go to Harvard. You don't have to go to Princeton. You don't have to go to Yale. You can get a decent education going to a lot of different colleges. But those are the different ways that you could do it where it's not going to cost you a fortune. And, a college education is wonderful. It's absolutely wonderful. But 2 of my 3 sons are doing really well working for the companies that they work for. One is a manager. The other one is in the tech part of a communications company, doing very well. My youngest son is a YouTuber. He's got like over 20,000 subscribers. He's modified this video game that everybody loves, the modifications that he's done. I mean, and he loves what he's doing. He absolutely loves what he's doing. He was always my inventor, my entrepreneurial son. I knew that from an early age, that's kind of what his thing was. I kind of knew that. So there's just so many different ways to go now. There's side hustles. There's, all kinds of stuff. Oh, good news. I think a lot of you saw my video with my yellow lab. I actually think I have found a stud dog to breed her with. That's kind of my side hustle, is wanting to do something that I've never done before, but I've always had a dream of doing. And so that might happen eventually. I don't know when that's going to happen, but you got to have a stud dog if your dog's going to have puppies. That kind of has to happen. So, I mean, life is changing. Less than a month from now, we're going to know who the next president of the United States is. I don't know. I have so many things that I think about, that I worry about, that I don't know, how things are going to go. I just don't know. But it is important to vote. I don't know if there's a deadline, if the deadline has passed for registering to vote, but I would say any of you who are seeing this video, if you have not registered and you still can, please do vote. That is our right and our privilege to be able to do that. And it's important. It's really, really important. So anyway, I rambled a little bit, but just some of the things that I've had on my mind, you know, that I think about. And, any big change, it's kind of daunting when you think about it. But anyway, like I always say, use it up, wear it out, make it do without. Till next time, bye.